This tank is the FV215B183. This is a British Tier 10 tank destroyer, and the map is Nebelberg. This is a great tank. If you ever have a chance to get one, I highly recommend you do. It has a wonderful gun on it. I'm working on a mission which is TD-15. Oh, this is a different mission. I think I completed the TD2 aimed fire. Yeah, I completed that mission. So I'm working on TD15 for the Object 260, which is to do 8,000 damage. And with this tank, you can definitely do it. In fact, in this game, I think I'm going to do 5,000 damage from this spotting position. Now, one thing that I've discovered is that there's a heat round, which is the expensive premium round. And with those rounds, you do tons of damage with this tank. I ammo rack so many tanks with those rounds. You get 1,500 damage in one shot. So, and I don't lose money. So I'm still taking me a while to get to position. You can see that there's a Grill 15 in position, and I'm heading in that direction. At some point, I'm going to be in his vicinity. You want to be as close to the edge as possible. You don't have to worry so much about being spotted because you're going to be at the edge of the spotting range. And what's going to happen is there's going to be enemy tanks like the Super Conqueror that are going to advance after your allies, and they're going to make themselves vulnerable. So unfortunately, I got here a little bit too late, and he just became unspotted, and he might be behind a solid object, which is why I'm going to have to reposition. I'm going to speed up the game. Okay, so that was 609 damage. When you're aiming, there's a circle that gets smaller and smaller. Your shot's going to land within that circle. So you want that circle to encircle the tank to whatever confidence level you believe is safe to fire your shot. You don't have to aim it in all the way. Okay, so now we got a Progetto over here. Let's see if we can take this guy out. I'm aiming a little too high right now. Yeah, it looks like there's nothing there. Got a long reload. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. One of the things you're going to notice is that we don't have good support on the east side. So at some point I'm going to have to pay attention to what's going on in the east. This is not, I did not get the best position. The Grill 15 is in a better position than me. Okay, so I got 2 kills, a total of 800 damage. Now we see a much better view of the tanks up on that hill. Now obviously I could have taken that shot. Maybe I would have taken him out of the game. It was a tough decision to make. I'm going to speed up the game. Let's see some more action. Nice. I'm using a high explosive round. So I did 555 damage, which is pretty good. Now we have a situation where our forwardmost tanks in the southeast are gone. So we have no spotters, which means I'm going to have to step up and do some spotting for my team. It really looked like I was going to miss that shot, but I did hit him. I got 590 damage, and I was not spotted. Now I'm in a dangerous situation. I could easily get spotted by firing on any of these tanks. Okay, so I got 623 damage on that tank. The other thing I did was that my gun was damaged, so I made sure to repair it immediately before firing the gun. You want to have a repaired gun when you fire. The other thing I want to mention is I had to move backwards and then I moved forward before I fired. It's better to move forward and backward. When you rotate your hull, it makes your aiming reticule become larger and less accurate. So it's better to move forward and backwards when you're aiming rather than rotating the hull or going side to side. I usually don't use my first aid kit unless someone is injured. If it's just for stunning, I usually just ignore it, unless I'm in a really tight situation where I have to act fast. I got 587 damage on that tank, and I got 509 spotting damage when he was taken out of the game by the grill. Score is 12-13. I've got 3,155 damage, and I got 3 kills. You'll notice that I knocked the tree down. I knock as many trees down as I can to increase my my concealment. Still using HE rounds. So I did 975 damage, and I ammo racked that tank. One thing that I noticed is that if you set a tank on fire, if you're spotting a tank and somebody sets it on fire, I don't think you get the spotting damage from a tank set on fire, because I saw it happen in a game recently. Now, when you're aiming for a tank, you can aim at the front, the middle, or the back. What I usually do, because the reticule is large, I aim for wherever I have the greatest chance of hitting something, which means I usually aim under the turret, which is the tallest point of the vehicle. I did 600 damage. I got over 5,000 damage. I did 288 fire damage. And that's the end of the game for me. Yeah, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com playing World of Tanks. The tank is the FV215B183. This is a British Tier 10 tank destroyer, and the map is Hinterland. This is a grand battle map. It is a new map that is live in the game. This is actually a live game. It's not on the test server. So I played this on the North American server. It's my first time playing this map, and there's a lot of people in chat discussing how it's also the first time that they've played on this map. Now you're going to notice that there's a town in the center, which is probably going to be dominated by heavy tanks, and then you've got 2 hilly areas on the east and west. I decided that I would head to the west because it's near where I spawned, and I'm working on a mission which is to get 8,000 damage for TD15 Triumph, which is to win an Object 260. This tank is certainly capable of doing it. I'm having trouble getting the 8,000 damage. Now, the first thing that I noticed about this map is that it's not designed to be one team sniping on one side and the other team sniping on the other side. It doesn't work that way. You only snipe if the other team is in your territory. So if you're sitting in the back sniping, you're not going to get any action. You'll notice that on my front, we're advancing towards the enemy, and what's going to happen is the enemy team is going to be hiding in the back, so we're not going to be able to spot them. They're going to be well hidden, and we're going to have no one that's going to spot them. There is going to be, later in the game, you're going to notice that the enemy is going to dominate in the city, and I really didn't pay attention to what happened on the east side when I played my first game, because I was really focused on my gameplay. I'm going to speed it up a little. It is a big map, and you definitely shoot across the map. It's not like the other maps. So a lot of people can be far away. So now, at this point, I'm taking a lot of shots from enemy snipers that are hiding in the south. I got hit by 4 different tanks, so I'm going to alert my team that there's a lot of enemy tanks in the southwest. Now you can see on the mini-map that the enemy does have a lot of tanks in the middle of the map, in the town. And the score is 2-5. So that was my first kill, and it might be my only kill, and I did 769 damage on that shot. And this is a great tank, there's no doubt about it. If you can get your hands on one of these tanks, the FV215B183, it's definitely worth it. It does a lot of damage. Now, as you can see right now, I was starting to get concerned about what's going on in the middle of the map. The score is 4-10. We've got a lot of tanks on our flank. A lot of the enemy tanks are not spotted in the south, but there's a lot of red dots in the middle of the map, and I started to think maybe I should go help out my team with what's going on in the middle, but I never did that because I was always hoping to get that lucky shot on those enemy snipers that it's going to come, but it's going to take a while before we get there. It still doesn't look good in the middle of that map. Score is 4-11, 4-12. Now look at the middle of the map. You can see that the enemy won on the east side, and I noticed that the enemy was overtaking in the middle of the map. And normally what I would do is alert my team and say, we have to do something. Because the score is 4-12, but I really thought that the game was hopeless at this point. It was only a matter of time before the enemy comes after us. Missed an easy shot. It was unfortunate. I didn't aim properly. I should have anticipated that he might reverse, so I shot it over the front deck of his tank. The enemy is starting to... The Sheridan just appeared behind us. And the Sheridan also killed a tank that's somewhat next to me. Possibly that tank right there was just killed by the Sheridan. And I noticed that that had happened. So at some point I said, okay, I'm going to turn around and see if I can deal with this Sheridan. And thankfully the E100 was also watching our back. There is a chance I'm going to kill the Sheridan. Score is 6-17. Unfortunately, I did not do any damage to that Object 268. Score is 6-20. There's only a few of us left. In fact, there might only be 2 of us left. I only got that one hit. I only fired my gun like 4 times in this game. Okay, so I got my second kill, and that's the end of the game. So I know it wasn't an exciting game, but I just wanted you to see that the Hinterland map is live on the server. This is a little bit of what the game is like, and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments, please post below. This tank is the Jagdtiger 8.8. This is a Tier 8 German tank destroyer. It's also a premium tank. The map is Karelia in the Assault Defend mode, and I'm on the Assaulting team. This is my favorite map and my favorite mode. However, I prefer to be on the Defend team. I would love to play this map over and over and over again in the Defend team. And I like the Assault Defend game because it puts the pressure on the assaulting team to do something quickly. The games are a little bit more exciting for me. Now I'm going to show you a sniping position. And this is a slow tank. You can make it to the D4 position, go up into the base if you want to. It takes a long time. You have to advance through the bushes and go from rock to rock. But when you want to snipe, you want to find a position that has lots of bushes and has a rock that you can use to protect yourself. So you can see that I can hit tanks that are up at the base. So the Black Prince up at that base, he's not going to be able to drive around his base area. I'm not in a spotting position for the base yet, and neither is the Panther. But the goal is to be able to spot that base and prevent them from having access to their own base. I don't want to drive across the open. I want to go to where there's a lot of bushes and a lot of rocks to hide behind, and then start making my approach towards the enemy base. And I also knock down trees. I don't worry about the trees being seen. I'd rather have the cover. I did get spotting damage on that J-Panther. So as you can see, from this position, I can fire. I don't have to worry that much about being spotted. And I can hit tanks up on that base. Got another one that just appeared. I did spot that tank, so I did get the spotting damage. Missed a couple key shots. He went out of my spotting range. You'll notice that I'm starting to head towards the rocks. I'm not going out in the open, not heading for the water. Knock trees down, because you don't know, you might knock a tree down and stop and hide in that tree. Here's another example of how I can hit that tank. Now I'm in a really good position. If you look at where I am on the map, the F4 position, this is a great sniping position. I can hit that T-44. I can spot the base area. I can shoot at tanks that are all the way in the lower area. I spotted another tank. Wasn't able to take any shots against him. Score is 6-2. I got 474 damage and 1390 spotting damage. One thing you do want to notice if you're spotting is to see how many snipers you have supporting you up on the hill. You will have games when there's no one up on the hill, and right now there's 3 people up on the hill, and then there's the Panther who's in the position where we last saw him. He stayed in that position. For some reason, my tank, I have a high ping time because I'm playing from the Philippines on the North America server, so I missed my opportunity to hit that tank. I lagged out for a moment. Okay, now a good position to snipe from is where this rock is, right over here in the middle of the water, and this rock over here with all these bushes. That's a great position to snipe from when you're defending. Score 7-2. My team is slowly starting to advance through the middle. We won in the south. Normally I would keep on advancing, but I'm assuming that because of my issues with the lag and the ping time and dropouts, I probably decided not to advance. Now, as you can see, instead of going around the rock, I reversed to try and shoot over the rock, which is a technique you can use. I would have been able to do it if someone else hadn't shot him first. Now that the T-44 is out of the game, it's a lot safer to advance. Score is 10-3. Okay, so that's the extent of this sniping position, and let's move on to the next video. This tank is a Rudy. This is a tier 6 medium tank. I believe it's a Russian tank, I'm not sure. It's a premium tank, and the map is Karelia. This is an assault defend game, and I'm on the defending team. Now I'm going to go to a spotting and sniping position, and it's not a great position for sniping. You can snipe from the position that I'm going to. You can spot from here, but it's not my favorite position, and we're going to talk about why. So you're going to see what you can get out of this position. In terms of spotting, it's a decent position. We're going to spot tanks over here in the south who are trying to advance to the south, and we're going to prevent them from having a good game in the south. We're going to be able to do some sniping. Okay, so I spotted the bat chat, which is now right there. My allies are going to shoot at him. He's going to be stuck in right behind that rock for the whole game until he dies. So he's not going anywhere. The game's over for him. We got some other tanks that showed up. I was not the one who spotted the T-29 and the T-34-85. As far as I know, I believe one of my allies may have spotted those other tanks. But basically what happens is that there's a little road over here that leads up into the southern hill, and sometimes faster tanks are going to take that position. The slower tanks are going to go behind that bush. So you can spot a lot of tanks, and if you do spot them, they'll be stuck in that position because they won't be able to advance. Now you're going to see a sniping position. Over here, obviously, we have some shots on tanks that are up in that area. And we're going to see, for example, with the Tiger II, there's going to be potential for me to shoot at him. And there's going to be tanks in the north that I'm going to shoot at, and there's going to be tanks up on the hill that I'm going to shoot at. I'm not going to do a lot of damage in this game. I'm only going to do around 500 damage in this game. So you can see that it's possible to hit that tank with a high explosive round. And definitely, I spotted another tank, which was an IS. The IS is up on the hill. Because I was spotted, I have to move. This is not a great position because they can hit me from up on the hill. You can see an Udas just took a shot at me. This rock over here is a better position to hide behind. The people that are in the south are not going to be too concerned about me. They've got other problems to deal with. I'm not saying that they're not going to, but when they do, they're going to expose themselves, and I'll be able to shoot back at them if they expose themselves. Now, you can see here that there's a tank in the north, and I'm able to shoot at him. He's pushing a dead tank. Now that Tiger II, who is in this position over here, he really can't advance. If he advances through that gap right over here, I'll be able to shoot at him, and he'll have to advance through here. I'll have a lot of shots on him if he tries to advance. I guarantee you he's not going to make it past that position in this game. He's pinned down in that position. And these other tanks like this T-34-85, there's a gap in front of him which is right here. If he tries to cross that gap, I'll also be able to shoot at him. The score is 6-4. One problem with this position, you cannot hit the tanks in the north. If you use another position, which is, I believe that, where is it? It's not that rock. It's actually, but on the other side of those bushes, there's a rock that you can see right there in the middle. If you work from there or from there, you can hit the north and the south and the hill. You have a lot more flexibility, but you don't have the spotting ability. So as you can see, here's another tank that I'm able to shoot at. Score is 8-4. We are going to win this game. Now we're going to see the Tiger II. Obviously, the Tiger II did hit me, but it shows you that it's possible for him to expose himself so I can shoot back at him. Now we're going to move to the hill. We've got some tanks up on the hill that I'm going to take shots at. That was a lousy shot. It went way to the right. That one apparently hit a rock. The Bat Chat's going to finally be taken out of the game. Scores 10-4. So now it wasn't a high damage game. It wasn't a lot of targets to shoot at, but it shows how you can control people from advancing close to your base through the middle, and how you can monitor the team as they're advancing towards the south, and you can pin them down and prevent them from advancing across the field. And you can shoot at the tanks that are up on the hill. So there are some there are some advantages to this position, but I don't think it's the best position. It's just me testing out different positions, and I wanted to show you this game. You can compare it to my other Karelia Assault Defend videos and see how it compares. Now, as you can see, once the Tiger gets to the position that he's approaching, he won't be able to go any further. Okay, so that's the end of this position. Let's move on to the next video. This tank is the Object 704. This is a Russian Tier 9 tank destroyer, and the map is Erlenberg. I'm going to show you a sniping position. I'm going to fast forward it just because it's going to take so long to get there. I think there's a chance that someone might hit me in this game. You got to be careful. I've had games where I've been hit on the way to the sniping position. It looks like I made it okay. Okay, there it is. So you got to be careful. Yeah, this is the one. Got hit twice. So basically, what you want to do is you want to come to this area, but you don't want to go over the crest of the hill. As long as I'm on my side of the hill, very unlikely that I'm going to get spotted. No one's going to be able to shoot at me, and you just sit right here. And you'll notice that I'm aiming for where the turret is, because this way if the shot goes a little high, it'll hit the turret. If you aim for the back, you could shoot over the deck of the engine. So I got around 1,000. I got 1,005 damage on those two shots against that tank. You can see I'm going to get 4,000 damage in this game. One thing you're going to notice is I'm going to miss a lot of shots in this game. I might miss half of my shots. That was 672 damage. If you like to play this type of tank, I highly recommend the camo net. The camo net will keep you hidden and will give you more flexibility. Oh, nice. That was 725 damage. So a camo net will give you more flexibility. You'll have more positions that you'll be able to sit in and hide in. I don't think I'm using a camo net. No, I'm not. That was an example of a wasted shot. He died and I shot at him anyway. There's another missed shot. I only hit 4 tanks so far. But I do have 2,400 damage. And you'll notice that since I've been here, I haven't been spotted and no one has been shooting back at me. The enemies that I'm shooting at are at the edge of my spotting range, so I'm at the edge of their spotting range, which means I'm unlikely to be hit because I do have good concealment on the tank in general. There's only 2 more targets in front of me. A T110E5 and a T110E4. You'll notice on the minimap there is an enemy tank right next to me, 1 sector away. There's another missed shot. So I did have lousy gameplay in this particular game. This was after not playing World of Tanks for a long time, for many months. You'll notice on my channel I have not had many videos recently, and a lot of the videos are just rehashes of older videos. So I haven't been playing for over 4 months. Okay, so that was the extent of this position. Let's move on to the next video.